Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. Thank you for joining me today. This is the card I have to share with you. It's this lovely little shaker card and you can see it shakes so cute. Lovely little floral shaker. So let me show you how I made this card. I'm going to start off with a piece of basic white cardstock, and this measures 14.35 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And I'm going to do a little punching first. And this is the vintage bottle punch, and I'm just going to put it in the bottom here, and I'm going to push it in as far as it'll go and just center it left to right as much as possible and punch. Okay, and there we have our little hole for our shaker. Now actually we're going to do our stamping, so I'll bring in all my stamping stuff here, and you can see I've got things set up. The colours I'm going to use are Melon Mambo and Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to start off with Granny Apple Green for my foliage. And this is the stamp set, Bottled Happiness. And we're going to be using these two pieces of foliage and this little sentiment as well. But you could use these bottles, and of course these ones here match the punch. Okay, so let's just ink up our stamp. Tap, 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 tap. And then just gonna put this wherever we want on the top. And there will do perfectly fine. There we go. So I'm going to clean this off using my simple chamois so we can take the stamp off the block. Close this up for now. I always close up my ink pads as we go along so nothing can fall on them. And then I'm going to take the next part of our stamp. This is a two-step, so whoops, let's put this back in its little home and just dump it there for now. I'll take this one, and all I'm going to do before I stamp is just make sure I know what orientation I have this set up for, and it's quite easy to figure it out. So just ink out with your ink pad, tap tap tap. It's a Melon Mambo colour. I love this pink, it's a favourite of mine. So just you might need to get right in over the stamp, so sorry if my it is in the camera. But you need to be able to see right over the top of your stamp, and if you don't get it totally right, to be honest, it's not the end of the world. I haven't got it totally right, but I think it still looks cute. Or what do you think? I think so. So clean that up as we've got it here, and take this off the block. And then I'm going to go in now with my sentiment here that says sending a little message. I'm just going to ink it up, straighten up my card, and have at least a chance of getting everything straight. There we go. Lovely. Okay. So let's put this back in here. My stamps are falling out. They don't want to stay at home. Okay, so close that up. Move that aside. And now I want to have some, as you can see here in the background, I've got the sort of little splatters. And we're going to use one of our other stamps to do that. So the stamp I'm going to use this time, I think, is this one, Quiet Meadow. And just use the splatter from it quickly. There's a few that you could use with splatters in it. The other one you could use here I've got as well is Textured Floral. Maybe we'll use that because it's clear, and then we can see what we're doing a bit better. So you've got a few options. I'm just going to put this on a block, and I'm going to ink up, and I'm going to stamp off and then stamp. Just changing my orientation of my stamp as I move it around the paper. Bit of glue. Don't know how that got there. And you can see I'm just doing first, second generation. Almost cleaning my stamp off, and that's enough. So that's the Melon Mambo done. And now we're going to go back to the Granny Apple Green. So again, just stamping off. Sometimes I'm stamping off more than once. Changing the way my stamp is, and just going to use it now just to clean off. I think that's enough, as good as a feast. So we've done that. That's all of our stamping done, so let's clear the decks of that. Now we can start to form our shaker. It's a shaker dome, and I've got here our little shaker domes. These are the vintage bottle shaker domes, and you get quite a few in a pack. Don't know how many, does it say? 10. So I've still got a few left. Maybe I'll treat myself to another box, who knows. And you've got adhesive on the back and the front, so I'm going to take off a little bit of the adhesive, just a little bit off the front here, and you can just use your pokey tool if you have trouble. I'm just taking that little bit there off, and then I'm going to just get it into position before I stick anything down. Now that's in position, I can stick the top down, pull these little tails off, and stick the rest of it down, and just run my finger around it to make sure everything is nicely stuck, just like that. I'm actually going to look for my bone folder, which is here, and I'm just going to run the bone folder around, and there we've got our dome. So now we're ready to fill that. Going to use some of these iridescent shaker circles. I'll show you these. Whoops, quite full. And I'm just using a triangle tray here so you can see them. Stops them sort of going everywhere. Obviously if you flick them about they still will. And you can see, aren't they cool? Of course they get everywhere. They just seem to, however hard you try and contain the mess, doesn't always work, as you should know. I'm sure you do. Yeah. So you've got some lovely colours in there, as you can see. I'm just going to pour this into my shaker, and that one, this little one doesn't want to go in, but it will. Come on. Okay, it'll do. And then I'm going to pull the backing off the back of my shaker, move all of that aside, and then I have a piece here of the Fresh as a Daisy designer shoes paper, and I want to use this blue side, so I'm just going to put this down over the top of my shaker, and again just press down around that adhesive. You can feel the adhesive, you know, the edge, and just press down, turn it over, and again just going to go into my bone folder to really press down this adhesive, as you don't want your shaker bits falling out. Now we can just put some glue. So I'm going to take some Tombow, and I'm going to just add a little bit underneath where there's the overhang, obviously. And then on the rest of the card as well. Okay, now my base is Melon Mambo. It's a standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. I'm going to stick this down into the front. Give it a good press down, just like that. And then I have another piece of basic white that I'm going to use for the insert. Let's cut that. Okay. There we go. So we're nearly finished now. So finishing touches, I've got these adhesive backed sequins. They're a trio pack. And I'm going to use some more of these pinky ones. I'm just going to add a little bit there, just for some extra sparkle. And there we have our really fun shaker cards. So I hope you enjoyed the project. If you did, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up to YouTube now. And please don't forget to subscribe to future videos. If you want more information about the project, the supply list, the measurements, etc., it's all on the blog post on my website. And the links to that and all my social media links are in the description box below. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.